What's up, people? It's your boy Levelhead back with another video. Yes, C5 and Coco, I am back. Anyway, before we get into the content of this video, when you get a chance, man, go over there and check us out at fulleffectgaming.com. Google it, fulleffectgaming.com. Check us out. We got a lot of entertaining content over there for you guys. Articles, video posts on animation, games, movies, tech, artwork, anything that deals with what we like is over there for your enjoyment, to get you through your day at work or just through your day at home, whatever. So go check us out over there. Also, every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m., check us out on the Live and Level Gamers podcast. We still going strong. RIP to my boy, Mr. L.I. Miss him, love him. But we still going strong, and I know he'll be proud of what we doing. Also, every now and again on Sundays, 3:30 p.m., we do the Live and Level Gamers podcast with our boy, Jedi Knight, over in Germany. So if you don't know, look through my archives, check it out. If you like the content, subscribe. If you listen right now, you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the like button, comment in the comment section, and we about to get it in this video. So let's go. As you see in the thumbnail, you should have an idea of where I'm trying to go with this video. I've been going through this in my thoughts. I've been trying to work out how to start this because I know where I want to go. I'm just trying to figure out how to get there without offense, without causing people to turn away, because I really want you to listen to what I'm saying. I want you to be able to listen without getting in your emotions or getting in your feelings and feeling like you got to defend, because I'm trying to disarm you. I'm trying to let you know you can sit and you can listen. Don't worry. First of all, I love Nintendo. I have not stopped liking Nintendo, and I think first I need to start there. I really enjoy Nintendo, man. I'm for Nintendo. I'm all about Nintendo, but at the same time, I understand that at some point we got to be willing to acknowledge some things about the company that we like. And I think what has happened is the reason we're not able to acknowledge this elephant as a collective whole is because of the constant criticism we have been subjected to for the last few generations. Since the N64, man, we've been fighting to feel relevant as a gamer, you know, and feel accepted as a gamer, because we still like Mario and we still like the magic that Nintendo creates, and we still like all the things that Nintendo does. And we've been criticized, scrutinized, clowned, trolled for the last probably 20 years, from the missteps that Nintendo has done with the choosing to stay cartridge with the N64, with the little purple box of the GameCube, and the waggle of the Wii, and the direction of power of the Wii, to this current situation with the Wii U. We have been fighting to be relevant, been fighting to be seen as peers and core gamers, and not some subservient weirdo who has not learned how to grow up, so to speak. And many people say we're a man baby. So the trolls have conditioned us to be very defensive. This gaming industry has conditioned the Nintendo fan to be very defensive. When we go read articles, there's always scrutinizing and always poking at what Nintendo isn't doing. Even when folks have legitimate critiques, they use it to troll this fan base. EI the Black Buns and people like him, and that has jaded us and conditioned us to be overly defensive. So when you hear a legit critique that is not trying to troll you or clown this community, we have been so on defense mode that we don't know how to let the guards down, so to speak. So everything is going to be shot down. Any plane that come across the sky is going to be shot at, so to speak. So, but this is not resolving the issue, because there is an elephant in the room, and the whole gaming industry is having the conversation about it, but we have yet to join the conversation. And I think if we as Nintendo fans first start to acknowledge that there is an elephant in the room, then we can kind of kind of damper all the criticism and trollage that we get from outside viewing eyes, because we're not like this dude here pretending to act as if we don't see the elephant. And until we acknowledge the elephant, we're going to constantly be at each other, devouring each other, rather than creating dialogue and conversation that could strengthen us as a fan base and those who listen to us and those who are Nintendo fans. And I believe this can help Nintendo as a company as they hear us to dialogue on these different things. Now, if I was to be honest, I would actually say that there's another elephant being created, and that is the elephant of frustration within the fan base. So there's the elephant of the issues that we don't talk about when it comes to Nintendo, or we won't come together and allow the discussion to happen. So this elephant persists on while everyone around us talks about it and uses it to tease us. And then the elephant of frustration, because all of us do want to see changes. And at points in different places in our, if you want to isolate it to this YouTube community, all of us have shared our frustrations here and there with Nintendo. And behind the scenes, we have shared it even the more. And so I sat back and I got to thinking about it, cause me, myself, and I've been learning through trial and error how to present this my take. How I came at it before was in the line of openly disagreeing with some of my comrades. That backfired, so to speak. I thought I had that. It backfired. It backfired with Mr. T. It backfired with Red Knight. It backfired with Terminator Juice. And I'm on here willing enough to say that. It backfired. That wasn't my intentions, but that's what happened. But I learned from things. And I'm still learning from things. I told Mr. T that in the comment section just a day ago. I'm learning. I'm learning how to navigate this community, because I feel like this needs to be talked about. Whether you are ready, whether you are comfortable, whether you see the need or don't, it has to be talked about because it's a real thing. People are frustrated. The unrest is here, and we cannot continue to ignore that elephant while ignoring these issues with this company. Now, when I say issues, do that mean Nintendo is not a great company? Nintendo is an excellent company. Nintendo is still the best game makers in the industry. Nintendo is responsible for a lot of the way we game today. And as we take pride in those things like the D-pad, the innovation of Rumble Pack, the shoulder buttons, analog, we take pride in that because Nintendo has helped shape gaming as we know it and knew it. And I say it like that for a reason. How we know it and knew it. When I look at Sony, and right now Sony and Microsoft, but then you could either add Sega into this as well. As Nintendo perfected the controller, right? We just stake with the controller. There's other things Nintendo done, but the controller, the D-pad, and then they build on that with the Super NES with the 4 buttons on the front and the trigger buttons. Then they build on that with the N64. They added the analog stick and Rumble Pack, and I think they added another shoulder button under the. They did a lot, and Sony and Microsoft and Sega, instead of trying to go off and do their own thing in controllers and try to come up with something to compete with the D-pad, no. Since Nintendo had already perfected it and worked it out, they just embraced Nintendo's brilliance. And that's another thing they didn't have to figure out. That's another thing that they didn't have to toy with trying to work out kinks of. They just embraced what Nintendo did and added to their ethos, added it to their system. And now you have the DualShock. Now you have the Xbox Elite controller and all that. That's what they did. That's what Kinect was. It was an innovation on what Nintendo was doing. Or we don't want to do exactly what Nintendo doing, so we did Kinect. Sony was like, I'm just going to do what they doing and actually achieve what they were striving for with one-on-one, with the Move. See what I'm saying? But Sony and Microsoft embraces what Nintendo once it's proven to be a good thing and something that's going to please the consumers. They add it to their system. They don't run away from it. They add it. They bring it in and they embrace it. Whereas Nintendo, for the last 3 generations, has refused to accept some nuances to gaming. I don't know if it's because they didn't create it or they didn't work out the kinks or whatever, but they haven't embraced it. And they have dug a hole that has helped create another elephant of frustration. And as you deal with the outside criticisms and the issues of Nintendo unwillingness to embrace modern gaming, it leads to more frustration. And then when you get to where we at today, there's a bubbling point to where it starts to bubble over. And what you're seeing is people who are frustrated and in unrest and impatient with the way Nintendo deals. Because there's another issue with Nintendo too, and that's how they choose to give information. Okay, Sony and Microsoft, and I said this in my other video, we've been knowing about the NX, you know, and I want to send a shout out to Rule of 2 Review. He made an excellent video, and it was a question was asked to him by Terminator Juice, and it said, is Nintendo to blame for all of the crazy NX rumors? And he did an excellent job of dealing with that topic. And what I took from what he said was, he said yes and no. Same thing I said in my last video. I say yes and no. Are they directly responsible for the rumors? No. But are they responsible for the conditions that the rumors are allowed to exist in? Yes. Why? Because Nintendo does a poor job of dealing with their fan base timely. And dealing with what their fan base and the information and what the fan base wants to know. Not just what, they give us what they want to give us, but sometimes they need to give us what we want to know. And this is something that Sony and Microsoft does a good job of. You don't have to guess for a long time on the direction that Microsoft is trying to go with their hardware or even the new hardware on the horizon. We already know basically what Microsoft is doing with the Scorpio, and we only heard about it a month before E3. They outlined their basic plans. We're gonna have this many teraflops. We going for this type of gaming, 4K, this type of whatever. They gave us the basics while not revealing the whole system. Sony as well with the Neo. We want to do this. We want to be able to achieve this, and then when the unrest showed up in their fan base about the fact that, well, what about us who bought the PlayStation 4 who don't have the money to go out and buy a Neo? They came back and they said, well, look, there's not going to be any disparities between the Neo and the PlayStation 4 outside of resolution and stability. You're still going to be getting a great experience, the same experience. They ain't going to be stuff they're going to put on the Neo version that they're not going to put on the regular PlayStation 4 version. They're going to be the same game, just one is going to allow you to tap into more visual effects and stability. They answered their fan base. They killed any concern while still not giving you all of what they're trying to do with the Neo. But with the NX, we've been knowing about it for almost 2 years now. And all we've been getting is, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it, while already stopping any type of production out. Well, at least we don't know much for the Wii U and the 3DS. And let's be real, and like I said, this is the first time where even the handheld was not able to do what the previous handheld done, nor the previous handheld before that done. The 3DS did not live up to even what I think the Game Boy Advance. or the DS and what it done. The numbers are down, and the Wii U was pretty much a market failure. And Nintendo has came out and basically said it's a failure. So there's a lot of unrest, there's a lot of frustration right now, and there's not enough communication from this company. And yes, we understand Iwata died. You know, there's a lot of things going on behind the scene, but you still have to deal with the fan base. So we got to talk about this elephant in the room, people. We got to be able to dialogue about it. And it's not like you don't see it. Everyone sees it. And even Nintendo sees it. And they're starting to acknowledge it and starting to seemingly make changes on some of this stuff. Hopefully, they make a lot of changes. That's why the DNA is coming into play. There's a lot of things. So, yes, we should have patience. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, we have been very patient.
Let's see what we can.
And I think it's time for us to stop devouring each other and allow folks to discuss their frustrations and actually join in the conversation and get an understanding of why folks are frustrated, because the majority is frustrated. The number says it. The sales say it. I mean, at some point, we gotta be real about this thing, people. And it ain't about who's winning, who's losing. I harbored these feelings and these thoughts. I just haven't said it in the hope that Nintendo would catch up, and hope that Nintendo would listen to its fans and hear our cry and our frustrations. And up until this point, they haven't. They continue to give us systems lacking certain things and continue to operate the same way that has frustrated us for generations. The delays and the Nintendo Directs was great, but even those started to turn into situations where you wasn't dealing with the frustrations of your community. You wasn't giving them any answers. But I'm going to say this, and I'm in here. There is an elephant in the room, people, and you see it. We all see it. Can we at least talk about it? Can we at least dialogue about it? And the other elephant of frustration, can we be honest that people are frustrated? People are upset. People are tired of the way Nintendo operates as a whole. Can we do that? That's all I'm saying. So I went longer than I wanted to go. And that's all I have to say. And I'm going to sign out. And till next time, stay tuned. I got another video coming where I'm going to be comparing Uncharted 4 with Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Since I beat both those games, I'm going to give my verdict on which one I thought was better. And so stay tuned for that. And this is your boy signing out. Till next time, folks. Deuces. Check us out, fulleffectgaming.com. Check us out Thursday, live and Level Gamers Podcast, 8:30 p.m. I'm out, folks. 100.